Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Hoop Hogs Video Mailbag. I am Curtis Wilkerson with Inside Arkansas and the Pod at the Palace, coming to you with our daily Q&A about Arkansas basketball as we get closer and closer to the start of the John Calipari era in Fayetteville. Man, less than a month away from this Kansas exhibition. Practices are getting rolling. A lot of exciting times, and you know, the football team lost again over the weekend, so people are starting to turn the page to hoops. Well, we got you covered with daily content, and it's because of the questions that get submitted to this mailbag, which has been a lot of fun. Got a special one today, a really cool one that I wanted to jump into from our buddy Aaron Torres. If you're a Razorback fan, you don't know about AT, you've been living under a rock. The Aaron Torres podcast, absolutely love it. It's a must listen for me every time he drops a new episode, and he's participating here. It looks like we're going to do a I scratch your back, you scratch mine kind of thing. I like it. So Aaron Torres says, what is John Calipari's dream 2025 high school recruiting class? And also be prepared for me to do a reaction off your reaction. So the pressure is on. No, I appreciate it, buddy, and hope that you're doing well. Let's see. The dream 2025 recruiting class for John Calipari. Give me AJ DeBanza, Cam Boozer, and Darren Peterson to go with Darius Acuff. Okay, cool. See you later. This has been fun. No, in all seriousness, that would be great. But we'll try to be as, I don't know, realistic, even if it's a stretch as possible. You know, Cal, rumor has it that he's kind of learned his lesson about bringing in 6-7 man freshman classes and relying on the youngsters. Especially after getting popped a couple times early in the NCAA tournament. He's been pretty consistent in his message of, 3-4 freshmen per class. So that's kind of what we're going to stick with here. They're already off to a good start with Darius Acuff. I mean, he's the top point guard in the country, just a dynamite player, a great foundation piece, I think, for the class. So what would be the ideal way to kind of build this thing out around him? If we're dreaming up that hypothetical 4-man class, which I take a look at Coach Cal over there to the left. He's daydreaming right now. He's just thinking up a master plan. I think I would love to see Arkansas add Malik Thomas to this class. I really would, in the backcourt to complement Acuff, another top 10 5-star, one of the best. I think they've got him categorized 24/7 as a shooting guard. Call him what you want. But just one of the best players in his class in the country. He was scheduled to be at that Bama-Georgia game visiting Nate Oates in Alabama over the weekend. I'm not sure that actually happened. Don't have it confirmed that it didn't, but I didn't see a bunch of photos and stuff flying around out there. So maybe he didn't make that visit. We'll see. He is scheduled to be at Arkansas this weekend for the Tennessee game. So assuming you do get him on campus, I think Arkansas has a really, really nice chance of locking this thing up here pretty quick. And if so, man, I mean, think about it. You got two of the best guards in the country in your class, and Darius Acuff and Malik Thomas. That's something to be really, really excited about if you're a Razorback fan looking ahead to the future. And so then you're kind of set in the backcourt. I mean, Acuff and Thomas, that would be absolutely nasty if they're able to pull that off. So from there, I don't know. How about Caleb Wilson? How about that as a forward? Another top 10 5-star. He's a major want for me. Now, Cal's been on him forever, and really for like the entire summer. Kind of felt like he might be an Arkansas lean, or that Cal was in the driver's seat to land him. Maybe that's still the case. I don't know, but he's taken a ton of visits. I know Kentucky's got a lot of momentum with him coming off his visit over there. I think he was at UCF last weekend. And he's got some other stuff scheduled. I think he's got a visit to Bama scheduled. I know Georgia Tech is on the list. Well, what about Arkansas? If they had that much momentum, when are they going to get this guy on campus? So I would imagine that's going to happen at some point here before he makes a decision, which I think could be during the early period. But we're kind of waiting to hear a date there. So if Arkansas gets him on campus for a visit, I think, between Cal, and the facilities themselves, Arkansas is going to have a really good shot to kind of solidify themselves there. But you kind of wonder about where it's headed. How do they feel about their chances right now? I don't know, but it is interesting. Maybe it's just coincidence that, Arkansas is trying to get in on another similar player at a similar position, and Nate Ament here a little bit late. They've offered another guy at a similar position in Sean Abayev here late. So we'll see how that works out. But if you're able to get Wilson on campus and add him to the mix with Acuff and Malik Thomas, my goodness. I mean, that is a nasty, nasty trio there. And then wrapping it up, let's say he'd take a 4-man class. I think, maybe adding a 4 or 5. So then you got a little bit of everything in the class. Maybe, I'm a big fan of Chris Sinak. I really am. I like him a lot. And it makes sense too, 6'10", kind of a rising big man in the class. He is right up the road at Link Academy, which Arkansas has a history with. Shout out to you, Jordan Walsh. And it's just right up the road in Branson too. It's like an hour and a half away. So should be easy for Arkansas to be in to see him a lot, to strengthen those relationships. Should be easy enough to get him down to campus soon, which they do have him scheduled here in a couple weeks. We'll see about that. I mean, the entire SEC is on him. LSU, Kentucky, Auburn, the list goes on and on. I think Houston's in on him too. So a lot of competition there. We'll see if, maybe Arkansas can get some momentum coming off that visit. I think he would be a great add. But I think for the final answer to the question here, I might go outside the box a little bit. And how about a little late reclass action from 2026? Mika Murinen. If you're not familiar with the name, you better get familiar with the name. Hopefully I pronounced it right, but this dude is an absolute stud. He was on campus actually at Arkansas, taking an official visit just a couple weeks ago. Class of 2026 guy. I think he's a prime reclass candidate into 2025, maybe in the spring semester. And listen, Arkansas's already had him on campus. Sounds like there's a really good relationship, an early bond there built. And this would be a dude that I would love to have join the class, even if it's a year early. He's a top 5 player in the 2026 class, another 5-star, 6'10", Euro big. He's really, really good. If you watch the EYBL, him with Brad Beal Elite 16U, he did some eye-popping stuff. He's a skilled big man. Or Euro big, you don't see too many of those. Arkansas's got one right now in Big Z. And I wonder if that strengthens the bond a little bit, for a guy from Finland to see that and be like, oh, okay, you got a guy who's having success in this program, who's in a somewhat similar situation to what I am. But man, he's good. It's super, super efficient. And you think about it sometimes, and it's like, it's a big man. He does all his damage around the rim. Of course he's efficient, but no, like this dude is skilled. He can stretch the floor a little bit. He's shooting jumpers. And his true shooting percentages and some of those advanced, analytics and stats in the EYBL really jumped off the charts. He's a super, super talented player, and he's only going to get better. I mean, he's young and still developing and new to the state. So, so for my 4-man dream class for Coach Cal, I'd probably go Acuff, Malik Thomas, Caleb Wilson, and then Mika Murinen, which would be it would be disgusting. It'd probably wind up being the best class Arkansas had, or very, very close to it for sure. And it's not, I don't know that's the most likely thing in the world to pan out, but it's not crazy. Like, it's not just completely unrealistic. There's a chance that they could make that happen. And even if they didn't, they had to go to a plan B option or whatever to fill out the rest of the class, like we mentioned with a couple other names there. But if they're able to land, 3 to 4 of the guys that we talked about right here, that's a hell of a first full class, I guess you could say, for John Calipari at Arkansas. So I appreciate the question, AT, man. That's a good one. I'm anxious to see what you have to say about it and what's on your mind. But man, I think either way, things are looking positive for Coach Cal. And I know people are getting a little bit antsy about it because they got Acuff early in the summer, and you feel like you were building some momentum, and then there's been a lull, in the commitments. But I think if you go look around the country, it's just been kind of a slow developing class in terms of guys making their decisions. I think some of it is NIL related, obviously. I think, guys are waiting to make their decisions until a little bit later. We'll probably see more guys waiting for the later signing period just because of the transfer portal. Like, you commit early, but you have no idea what guys on the current roster are coming back, who's leaving, who might coaching staffs bring in the portal to recruit over me or whatever. If I was a high school kid, especially a really talented one of these 5-star guys, I might wait it out a little bit personally. You know what I mean? And just almost as if I'm a guy in the transfer portal. I think you could leverage that pretty good. Maybe even get yourself a better NIL deal. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see more of that, but I don't think there's real cause for concern. I know Arkansas fans actually answered a question about this last week where people were like, yo, all these guys at Arkansas is on visiting Kentucky. What's going on here? Well, Kentucky, Duke, North Carolina, Kansas, the Blue Bloods are who you're competing against for recruits now. And that's the way it was under Eric Musselman. It's definitely the way it's going to be under John Calipari. So, you're going to see that. It's going to be a battle for all these guys. But again, AT, man, appreciate you, brother, for the question. Hope you're doing well, and appreciate everybody for all the engagement, the interaction. It's been a lot of fun. I think we're like 44, 45 days into this thing. We still got a ton of questions to come that we're going to get to. So if you're wondering how to get involved, you see my Twitter X handle underneath there at Kurt Wilkerson _. Go to my profile. I got a thread pinned there, the Hoop Hogs video mailbag. Drop your questions in there. Hit me with a DM. Hop in on these YouTube comments. I kind of go surf those and look for some questions every few days there. We will eventually get to them. We post these every day at 8 a.m. So make sure you get subscribed to our Inside Arkansas YouTube channel. Follow along the Hoop Hogs video mailbag playlist. You'll see all of them there. You can go back and check out the ones that you may have missed. But I'm going to get out of here, and we'll be back again bright and early in the morning. It's been Curtis Wilkerson with Inside Arkansas and the Pot at the Palace. Everybody have a good day.